What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about Scream 7. We had quite the last couple days. Want to talk about Marco, of course, coming back in a strange twist, and I guess the way that it was announced was kind of crazy, at least to me. I didn't believe it at first. And then also this David Arquette line that's been going around that I find equally interesting. So starting with Marco Beltrami, of course, I honestly can't believe it, in a sense. You know, it's great to have him back, and he was literally, maybe we should start doing this more often as a fandom, just start asking people things. Go maybe try to find Emma Roberts on Instagram and see if she'll just answer you, if she's coming back. I don't think it's always going to be this easy, but he was simply asked, I don't even think he was asked. I think he was told, like, hey, you should do the score for Scream 7, and he said, don't worry, I am. And it's like, oh my dear God, again, like, is that all it took, was to just simply ask the man something? So he literally confirmed he's coming back. Now, originally, I thought, oh my God, if this isn't AI, there's a part of me that still doesn't even want to believe it until there's like a Variety article or something on it. But, he confirms it himself. It's his official Instagram. There's really no reason to doubt that he's lying to us or anything. He says he's back. He also said, I think a day or two after that because somebody asked, like, well, have you already started to write the score yet? And he talked about how they're not done editing it yet, and so he wouldn't write the score until the entire thing's kind of done. I would not expect this movie to be done right now. It just finished like a month or so ago, so I imagine it's going to take a little bit more time. By the way, I still do think it would be done far, far before it's supposed to come out at the end of next February, right? Whether or not anything ends up happening there, but maybe he'll start writing it, in the summer. But to kind of complete the thoughts just on him really quickly, like I've seen it from other Scream creators out there. This really, I want to echo that statement where it really feels like a Scream 5 that, like, if you brought Scream back again, which I guess you technically are, it feels very similar and yet kind of going that extra level now versus Scream 5. Now, I'm not here to diminish Scream 5 or 6. You guys know how I feel about those movies and how I feel about Scream fans kind of flip-flopping on them on social media and whatnot. But, honestly, I do get the same kind of sense where it's like you think about bringing it back and, going full on into Sydney and her story. And then also you have Kevin Williamson and, like bringing Dewey back. Well, you would have done that, and you did do that already, right? But to have all these familiar faces returning, the ghost faces returning, right? And then to have him come back, right, as the composer, it's like, it really feels like they're bringing everybody back together. Again, in this way, a bigger way than they did with Scream 5. So I will echo that because I do think that's rather fair. I like what we got with Scream 5. Honestly, this is their chance almost at a do-over, and that's actually exactly what they did. And then just to really quickly nail the David Arquette comment. So he was asked in an interview where he was talking about Dewey, how thankful he was and how happy he was to come back. But he talked about how that it was actually a spoiler that no one was supposed to know, and they just kind of revealed it. And we've talked about this before. I did a video actually a few weeks ago where we talked about like the reasoning of why you would confirm all of these. And we talked about the idea of, reaching, right, and trying to get people, and maybe a little bit of like they're scared of what it could do in the box office. And then maybe kind of a confidence cool factor where it's like, well, we don't really care. It's a cool thing that we're bringing these people back. And ultimately, I still would lie on that side of things, where it's like, you could say they're coming back all day long. It's the execution that truly matters. I do think it would be kind of wild to go into the theater not expecting it and then actually seeing it. That totally, I do think, beats them announcing it early. But I still think it's about the execution, right? But to his comment, that actually almost does make the statement, I would say, more for the negative than the positive, because it's like, okay, well, if it was supposed to be a spoiler, or it is a spoiler, in fact, what does that even mean, right? Now, I don't think that means he's alive or anything, but maybe he just means it from the fact of, like, the fact that Dewey is in the movie already makes it a spoiler, in the same way that, any returning character that's supposed to be dead, right? Them just being in the movie point blank makes that a spoiler as well. I imagine, to be honest with you, that's what he means, but there's no way of knowing. But, it's tough. It's tough because I think, just saying that kind of comment out loud makes it sound like, yeah, it is weird. Like, why would you actually say that, out loud? That sounds more like they're reaching, more like they're kind of in that desperation mode. Again, I don't really believe that, at least not all the way, but the way he says it. But again, to me, It's about the execution. We've been kind of theorizing like how you would bring some of these people back anyway. So, I don't want to get too much into a past videos topic. It was just interesting he said that line. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.